Hello, I thought I'd do a video today and share with you 5 questions that I was recently asked by somebody that wanted to interview me. And I thought these are great questions and I'd like to share with you what they are. So the first question was, why is voice tone important? And I want to share with you some of my observation over time is that often the voice tone is more important than the words that you speak. The reason for that is because people connect to emotion and they connect to a feeling that you make them feel or that they feel when you're speaking. Now, voice tone, if you're unaware of it, can completely influence the message. And what I mean by that is if you use a very strong voice tone because you just have a very loud voice or it sounds very demanding or it's part of your personality and you're very strong all the time and you're trying to reach out to somebody in a soft approach and you're unable to do that, and what I mean by soft approach, let's say you're going to show some compassion or you want to make sure that the other person doesn't feel intimidated, but you're speaking like this and you're using your face very, very strongly, that's going to impact on the meaning of your words. Now, what I've found is a lot of people are unaware of that. I've observed it over time. I've noticed that even though the message is important, because of the person not being aware of their voice tone, and this can happen to me too, unaware of my voice tone, it is impacting on the message. So how do you observe that is by somebody listening to you, because we all get caught up in our own voice and we're not aware, we can't hear it or we can't sort of see it and we can't feel it because we're so used to it. But when you have a voice coach who's able to listen to what it is that you want to say, your presentation or perhaps a conversation, and also make some recommendations on how you can change it, then you can be sure that you're getting another opinion and you're getting some feedback. So there are different things we can do to impact on that voice tone, to change it. For example, if it sounds really squeaky like this all the time and you're talking about serious subjects like money or you're a solicitor, or perhaps you have an important subject that is around authority and you need to make sure your message is heard, by speaking like this, it's not going to work. And a lot of women are caught up in this area. And particularly younger women who are moving into their 20s and still have that young voice that hasn't matured or just hasn't changed, and that can happen too. So one of the exercises I want to show you is a straw, sorry about the glare, a straw and some water, and you just put just enough water like that, and don't push it all the way down, just have it about 2 centimeters off from the bottom, and just start to blow in it and make sounds like this. All I'm doing is I'm going from deep tones to higher, squeakier tones. And perhaps you're feeling like you can't do the squeaky tones. Well, just do something like woof, 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 or go, or woo, and find that area of your voice, particularly for the males. Male voice is to find that squeaky bit. So and this exercise will help you develop stronger tone, warmer tone, because the air pressure is going back down the vocal tract and compressing on the vocal cords from the top as opposed to just from the bottom. Now, the other one that you could do to help your voice sound deeper and stronger and just warmer too, because even if you want to sound strong, you've got to be careful it doesn't sound harsh. Now, harsh is not what we want, because even if you are saying something that's very, very strong and you want that person to really hear and it's an important matter and you've got to show authority, if you speak harshly and use a very strong face, nobody's going to listen. People don't like that, and they feel like unappreciated and often not understood when you speak to someone, and it's actually rude. So you want to have a deeper tone also that's warm. So this straw exercise can help you with that. Another thing is breathing. Make sure you breathe properly. So this is a great little tool that shows you breath, if you could see it properly. So you want this kind of expansion going on when you're speaking, that you're breathing, okay? And where should you feel the breath is where the navel is, or the belly button, right? So you really feel like you can put your hand on your belly button and breathe, and then you feel the expansion, and that would be the intake of airflow. And then, and obviously the tummy muscles come in. Now, good breath support will also support your voice and give it that certainty, because when you're not certain and you're nervous, the first thing that goes is your breath. Have you ever noticed that? So why is tone important? Because tone shapes your message and also impacts on that delivery. Now, where can you apply different voice tones? Well, everywhere. Where can you apply it? Particularly when your message is important. Really, that was a question that somebody said, like, where can you apply it? Well, you can apply it in lots of environments. So, and have freedom around that. So if I'm speaking to somebody and I need to get the message out and it's got to be gentle, I will use more breath, okay? Now I've got to make sure I breathe, but I'll use more breath in my tone. Now, if I want to send a command, I will use more strength, right? So that's vocal cord closure. I would make sure my vocal cords are compressed a little bit harder, but don't overdo it, because then you have a lot of problems with that, and we've heard it many times in those motivational speakers who have developed kind of nodules and harshness in their voice, and now they're croaky because there's no more sound. But closing your vocal cords, how do you feel that is like doing this? Ah, 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 right? And then you say, hey, how are you? How are you going? Good day, or I don't know, whatever. Okay. Yeah, so there I'm closing my vocal cords. But if I want to speak a bit more softer, I just allow more breath and I soften the tone. Now, why is this important? Is because it gives me flexibility around expression. And so my expression becomes more entertaining and interesting to listen to and not boring. So you're getting rid of that monotone where everything sounds the same and it sounds almost robotic and unhuman. Okay. So I'm going to just answer one more of these questions. How do you test your varied voice tone? Well, I think that's a great question. How do you test it is by awareness, getting some feedback, of course, particularly from people that know the potential of your voice, because you could ask somebody who doesn't know that you could actually do better or you could do more with your voice, particularly around vocal range. Vocal range would be the exercise that we did before, from going to low to high. Just expanding that vocal range is so important, so then you can access it if you need to. Okay, so how do you test it? You can listen to a recording and make some observation, but honestly you probably have to ask for feedback because you are used to your own voice. However, if you feel that it's not right, you probably should work with a voice coach, because voice coaches can help you create a solution around your voice. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you. If there's any feedback on this video, it'd be great to get some input. Also, you could find me on www.mariapalicano.com. I look forward to hearing from you. And I do workshops around business coaching, voice coaching. Of course, I bring in a lot of other elements that affect, like our personality. I bring in the Enneagram, extended disc profiling, because I want to know what do you gravitate towards, what motivates you, why do you speak the way you do, how to start to use other emotions, so then you can feel your voice in different ways and create a different sound. So really that personal awareness is important around voice. Voice is your heart and it's the organ of the soul. And Henry Wadsworth said that, and it's the organ of the soul. So you've got to really check on your soul too, not just your voice. So I look forward to hearing from you, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.